Anyone loves controversy? That's what we are entering today. We are using a fire extinguisher even before starting a fire, sort of anticipatory base. Even few years ago, the mention of embryonic stem cells would have caused a lot of hurt feelings. Currently, it does not cause that much concern because the recognition of problems associated with the embryonic stem cells and also the discovery of adult stem cells and the technological advances that led to induced pluripotent stem cells. The zygote formed by the fusion of sperm and ovum is totipotent. It can become anything among the more than 200 tissue types in the body. As the zygote starts dividing, the totipotency is gradually lost, and at a several cell stage, it will look like a bunch of grapes, and that phase is called a morula. Next stage in the development of the entity is a fluid-filled mass of cells called blastocyst. This blastocyst will look like a germinating coconut, which when cut across has a shell on the outermost area which is made of blastocyst cells called a trophoblasts, which become the placenta and umbilical cord in the baby. Also, in the lower part of the coconut, you see some soft tissue. And in a developing embryo, in a blastocyst, that is called inner cell mass, from which the whole body of the baby is formed. Most of the studies on inner cell mass is done in mice. If left in the uterus of the mother mouse, the inner cell mass will grow into different tissues. However, if the inner cell mass is removed from the blastocyst and put in a small dishes called petri dishes and growth medium containing nutrients are added and kept at a body temperature, they will start dividing again and again and again, not differentiating into tissue types. It will retain the stem cell characteristics. We can transfer this petri dish grown stem cells overlaying the inner cell mass of another blastocyst from another mouse. This modified blastocyst from inner cell mass of different sources, one from petri dish, the other from original inner cell mass. If this modified blastocyst is transferred into the uterus of a third mouse, the mouse will give birth to a baby mouse having tissues from both sources. This type of a mouse having tissues from two different parentage are called a chimera. Chimera in Greek mythology is a monster with the head of a lion and the head of a sheep from the back and a tail made of the head of a snake. You must have seen kids who look like angels but act like monkeys. They are not chimera. Now I want you to imagine something. Just close your eyes and imagine that you have two cats. One cat, I assure you that it is a cat but looks exactly like a dog. Now, from the dog looking cat, you take a blastocyst and you grow it in a petri dish. Take the cells of the inner cell mass grown in a petri dish of the dog looking cat and layer it over the blastocyst inner cell mass of the cat looking cat. And transfer this modified blastocyst into a third cat. You know what you are going to get? a new kitten with a tail like that of a dog, which it can wag, and nails with which it can scratch like that of a cat. And maybe it can even meow like a cat. That is a chimera. Now, what makes a cell from the inner cell mass to decide whether it wants to be a brain cell or a heart cell or in the case of a cat, or a tail cell? You may be familiar with such a decision force, like after school whether you want to become a movie star or a preacher. Embryonic stem cells were expected to be extremely helpful in diseases like some of the inherited diseases, or in stroke with a massive injury to the brain, or in severe heart attack with a massive muscle loss. However, there are some problems with the stem cells. It is coming from another person, so there can be rejection. You heard about kidney rejection or skin rejection? Like that. Also, some genetic anomalies can be transferred with the stem cells coming from embryonic source. Much more importantly, we have better alternatives now, like adult stem cells, or with the technologically much more advanced induced pluripotent stem cells. We will be discussing those things in the coming videos. Even though most of the studies are in mice, the information gained from the research on stem cells are invaluable. They were important stepping stones in all further development of a brand new branch in medicine called regenerative medicine. Does it make some sense now? If you like this, share, subscribe, and tell your friends. Thank you.